Hi there, my name is Morina and I'm 58 years old and I'm a creator of naughty fetish videos.
Zipper Magazine.
My main focus is my creating videos, and I love to do it. I've been doing it for over a decade now, and every year I say, well, maybe another couple years, and a couple years goes by and I think, oh my gosh, I could never stop doing this. Part of my roles that I play in my videos are dominant, but what I like to call a soft dominant. I like to play a maternal role, but sometimes like you're in trouble for something, or a teacher and you have to bring your grades up, and or I'm your boss and I'm going to demand you stay after work late and worship my feet in my pantyhose and that type of thing. I've tried out some of the stronger, more humiliation type roles, and they just don't fit naturally for me with who I am as a person, and I didn't really enjoy them. So what I found is I do like being the authority figure without too much of a strong femdom type of personality. It just fits better with, who I am. When I first started making clips, I was working with other producers and I didn't have my own video stores at all. And so I pretty much would show up and they would tell me what they wanted me to do and how they wanted me to act. And so I wasn't doing anything in my own way. Of course, you add your own spin on things, but I wasn't allowed to really be myself, or I didn't think I was allowed to be myself. And when I first started out, I did quite a bit of bondage, and so I was in a submissive role. And so I sort of thought to myself, oh, well, I guess I'm a submissive. And then as I went along, after several years, I realized I'm really not. People ask me all the time how I first got into making videos. And it's kind of an interesting story because I was 45 years old before I ever stepped in front of a camera. And I had just quit a corporate job, was really frustrated with that whole life, and I thought to myself, I'm going to take some time off and I'm just going to do some freelance stuff. And, I looked online to see what could I do just temporarily, because, I just didn't want to get another regular job again. And so I found an ad for someone who wanted a nude model, and it was black and white photographs and art nudes. And I answered the ad. We set up a time. I went, I worked for those couple hours. And when we were done, the photographer said, oh, you did so great. How long have you been doing this? And I said, oh, it's my first time. And he was like, I can't believe it. You just came in here, you took your clothes off, and you were like perfectly comfortable in front of the camera. And I said, well, I don't think I have any hangups about nudity, and, I'm pretty open-minded, and it sounded like fun. So I thought I would do it. And that's who told me about, oh, there's websites you can set up a profile, and, so I did that, and I started working with photographers on still photography and really just sticking with art nudes. And I did some photographs with a photographer who was so talented. A lot of them were barefoot because it was Florida and it was outside, and a lot of them were nudes and that type of thing. So I started getting messages from foot fetish producers, and they said, you have such beautiful feet, would you do a shoot with me? And that was honestly the first time I'd ever really even considered it. And so I went to work for one, and then all of a sudden, once you do one fetish, everybody else starts messaging you. And, I started doing other things and bondage and that type of thing. And it just opened up a whole new world. And now I think about it at 58, and this is 13 years later, and that thing that I thought I would do for a couple of months while I figured out what I really wanted to do has turned into the thing I really want to do. It's just like, it's almost like people have told me I'm Benjamin Buttons and that I'm living my life backwards because everyone thinks you have to be 18 and young and hot and, your skin is perfect and, all those things to be a model or an actress. And it's just absolutely not true. And as I've gotten older, I just kind of thought, how long are people going to want to see me as I get older? And it hasn't ended. In fact, every year I've been more successful than the previous one. And it's really brought it to my forefront of my thought. Like, I don't really ever have to stop this because for me, like I see a lot of older models still trying to be like if they're in their 20s. And if that works for them, that's great. But I think it causes a lot of frustrations when you do these shoots or people ask you to wear certain costumes and things like that. And let's face it, you get older, your skin isn't the same, you have wrinkles, you don't want to wear the same lingerie that you wore when you were 20. Things just fit different, your body changes. I've been able to just completely accept it, and that's because I'm not working with other producers. I'm only producing my own material. And because of that, I never have to show up and have to put on an outfit that makes me feel ridiculous. And because no matter what your body looks like, we all know when we look good or when we feel good, and it doesn't feel good to put on something that makes you uncomfortable. So I've just been able to be myself and be an older woman in my videos and not try to be somebody who's 20. And people have really responded to that. And at this point, I don't even really see, I don't see an end to it. I mean, I might be filming videos when I get into the nursing home, who knows? I think when the people who buy my content, when they see me embracing my own age and being comfortable portraying myself as the older woman, I think it brings back for them, memories of being attracted to older women. Some of my customers are 18 years old. But some of them are 65 or 70 years old. And it's funny because I'm technically younger than them. But in their minds, they still want that older woman, younger man fantasy. And in their minds, they picture themselves as the younger man. So thank you for Zipper Magazine and Sunny for talking to me and letting me share some of my experiences. I have to say, I feel so grateful to be able to do what I do, and I absolutely love it. It's so personally satisfying to bring people's fantasies and fetishes and kinks to life, and it's just gratifying for me. And it's probably my kink is to help other people find a way to explore their own fetishes. And I just really appreciate being able to do it. And it's been great. And I hope to keep doing it for a long time.
Real Kink for Real People. Brought to you by Sunny Megatron and Clips for Sale.